Hey guys, it's Gabe from Steel Hyundai, here with my walk-around of the 2023 Santa Fe Calligraphy. The Calligraphy is the top model available on both the Santa Fe and the Palisade. So this has every feature you could possibly conceive of for the 2023 Santa Fe. Starting as I normally do from the driver's seat, you get this nice leather-bound steering wheel. You see all the controls here. It's got the paddle shifters on the back. On the left hand here, you have your selectable modes for your infotainment system. You can have that go through things like your phone projection, select different inputs on the radio, Bluetooth. There's voice control, volume up and down, change track or change channel, things like that, and then answer and hang up the phone. On the right hand side, you have your button here to change the gauge cluster menus. You can see things like the compass, the tire pressure, where the car is in the lane. This button here just toggles that. This is to turn on and off your cruise control. This toggle here adjusts the speed and you can pause and resume it. This button here is your adaptive cruise control, so you can set how far you want to be from the car in front when your cruise control is on. And this here is your lane follow assist. So this will actually steer the car between the white lines when you are traveling with cruise control on. Moving to the left of the wheel, you can see here you have adjustable brightness for your gauge display, all your interior lighting, things like that. This is to turn on and off your lane keep assist. So separate from the lane follow assist, rather than steering the car between the lines, this will just make sure you don't wander out of your lane. This is to open the power tailgate. This is to turn off the traction control. And this is your electronic parking brake. And then you move to the window. You have the settings here for the memory driver's seat. This button here folds in the mirrors. So if you're parked or you're in a tight spot, you can do that without having to push them in. And then this is just to adjust the mirrors, lock and unlock the doors, adjust the windows, and turn on the child safety lock. Moving to the center console, the most obvious feature is the push button transmission, park, reverse, neutral drive. Your terrain and drive computer. So you turn this dial, I go from comfort to sport to smart. Comfort mode is obviously the most comfortable setting. Sport, it changes the throttle response, the shift timing, things of that nature to make the car feel a bit perkier. And then Smart learns your driving habits and optimizes everything adjustable to how you like it. Put it back in comfort. Then I push that button there and it switches to the terrain computer. And then I can rotate to sand, snow, and mud. So mud is optimized for things like, well, mud, loose surfaces. Sand is good for things like sand, loose gravel, not things like deep mud. And then snow is obviously the best for snow. And all of these adjust things like the braking force, the traction control, the shift timing for the optimized vehicle conditions for the road or terrain you're driving on. Surrounding the drive and terrain adjustment, you have your auto on and off thing here. This just turns off the engine when you're at a red light, for example, to save a bit of fuel. You can turn that on and off there. Auto hold just keeps the car in place to prevent it from rolling back. That's your heated steering wheel. Downhill brake control keeps the car at a constant speed when the cruise control is on, even if you're going down a steep gradient. This is to turn on and off your parking sensors. And this button is to view your surround camera when the car is in park without having to engage reverse. And then below that, you have the heated seat controls and the ventilated seat controls for the driver and passenger. Behind that, you have this little storage area here. You have one cup holder here. You have a deeper cup holder here, a USB slot for things like Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And then this little light here is for the wireless charging, because this slot here, I don't know if you can see that, that hinges down because this side of this little cubby here is actually a wireless charging pad. You just slide your phone in there, it gets locked in place, and then that light turns on to let you know that the phone is charging. Above all of that, you have your climate control. So you have your driver's side temperature, your passenger side temperature. You can sync those so that they're not independent of each other there. You have your fan speed, your air conditioning, where the AC is blowing, your front window defogger, your rear window defroster, recirculation, things of that nature. And the button here to bring up the climate menu on the infotainment system. Then above that, you have your media, and your navigation controls. So obviously you press map, and it pulls up the map because this vehicle is equipped with inboard navigation. So if I press nav, I can pull up the navigation menu. Or I can press radio, bring up the radio, or I can press media to access things like Bluetooth, Sirius XM, phone projection, or one thing I find really cool, press that button there, and I get sounds of nature. And then the last button here just brings up your setup menu, so you can access all of your settings, such as valet mode, your phone projection, Blue Link, which is the Hyundai Telenetics app, so you can access your phone, your car via your phone, things of that nature. Below the center console, you have this little storage area. This bottom mat is rubberized for grip and can be removed for cleaning. Then you have a power charging port on the right-hand side that doesn't transmit information, so if you want to use Apple CarPlay with that, you can't. It will charge your phone, and then you have a 12-volt socket on the left-hand side. Moving to the roof, you can see you have this panoramic sunroof. And the front half also vents and opens. Lovely. And the roof shade goes the entire way, so if it's a really sunny day and you don't want the brightness or the heat coming from it, you can just close that. Or if you just want to open it, it's just a quick tap of the button. It goes all the way back. Moving to the rear, I'll start with the door. Both of the rear doors have this sunshade equipped, ideal if you have kids napping or adults napping. And the rear seats also have 2 levels of heating, adjustable by this control here before the window switch. And like the front seats, the door cards are this beautiful textured leather-like design, which actually houses some speakers. And speaking of those speakers, the Calligraphy is equipped with Harman Kardon sound systems, which are amazing quality, crisp, clear notes. Fantastic quality speakers, definitely worth getting. Behind the center console in the front, you have a household socket and 2 more USB charging ports. Over my shoulder, you can see these little sensors here. These are the rear occupant sensors. So if there's something moving that detects in the back seat, like a baby, a dog, a kidnapped person, it realizes that that's there, and it reminds you to check the rear seats when you turn the vehicle off. One cool thing about that child safety lock for the windows I mentioned earlier is it actually also works for the doors. So because of how many sensors this car has, if you go to open the door from the back and the child safety lock is on, if it detects that there is a car coming, it will not open the door. And with that segue to safety features, this car is equipped with surround view cameras. So if I turn on my left indicator, left side blind spot comes up. If I turn on the right, the same thing. Then pressing that camera button I mentioned earlier, I can now see directly behind me and directly around my Santa Fe. And I can change the view as well. So now I can see both blind spots and the 360, or I can see a top view down of the Santa Fe as well as the 360, which I really like. And when you first take off and put it in drive, you can do the same thing with the front view. Moving to the back, like I mentioned before, you have a power tailgate. You have plenty of room back here. It is a bit bigger than a Tucson, even though it's only still a 5-seater, so you get more room. And you got these segregated trays on the floor. This is your tire repair kit. This here gets you some extra storage cubbies, and that can be removed, and this part can be lowered. You've got another 12-volt socket here, some storage cubbies, more speakers, and one thing I find really cool, you can lower the front seat, the middle row seats, without having to go up to them. And if the passenger seat was a bit further forward, it would actually lie completely flat because it is a kneeling seat. You can see what I mean here. If you watch me pull this up, you can see that the seat base moves along with the back. So when I do this manually from here, it tucks down to give you this perfectly flat pass-through here for if you need anything long to be completely flat, like lumber, skis, a mummy. Another thing I like about the Santa Fe is the heads-up display. It's hard to see on the camera, but you can see I have the vehicle speed and where it is between the lines projected right onto the windshield. Moving to the exterior, the 2023 Santa Fe in this gorgeous white boasts classy yet rugged styling. You've got this beautiful grille here with the headlights on either side of it, and then the daytime running lights situated above, and then the lower radar for the cruise control and the camera underneath the front emblem. And looking at the key here, you have plenty of features. You can honk the horn if you're looking for it in a parking spot. You can lock and unlock it. You can open the tailgate. You can remote start it. Just press lock twice and hold the remote start button. And the car comes on. And then my personal favorite feature on this, Smart Park. Let's say it's a really tight parking space. I don't want to risk opening the door and scratching on another car. I just hold this button on the key fob. It disengages the parking brake. There's no one in the car. And it will even adjust itself as it needs to. And it works both ways. If I need to pull it back in, because it's a really tight parking spot, I can do that. If there's cars on either side, it will actually counter steer a little bit to keep itself as close to the middle of the space as possible. You just let go of the button and it stops. And you just hold the button on the key fob. Parking brake engaged, car is off, mirrors have folded in, and it's locked. Driving this car is just nice. It's a nice place to be, the Santa Fe Calligraphy. The seats, leather, super comfortable. I've got power adjustable seats in every way, including the lumbar support. I've got the heat ventilation set because it's a bit of a warm day. Super comfy, not overheating. The AC is set. This car is in comfort mode, super easy to drive, responsive. If I need to overtake someone on the highway, I just put it in sport. Easy done. It feels safe. I know that there are tons of safety features all the way around the car, keeping me on the road, in the lines, safe distance from the car in front. It will warn me if someone's coming up behind me too quick. It will warn me if someone stops suddenly in front of me. If I'm not paying attention and I'm at a red light or a stop sign and the car ahead of me moves away and I don't move, it will tell me that the vehicle in front is pulling away. A really nice feature. I definitely like that. I just went over some railroad tracks, barely even felt it. This car is super comfortable. If you're interested in a 2023 Santa Fe, this exact car that I am now driving is available right now at Steele Hyundai, 3625 Kempt Road in Halifax. Or if it's not your color, you're not really looking for a top model, maybe you want a hybrid, we have some of those coming in as well. We have plenty of 2023 Santa Fe's of varying trims, engines, and colors coming in over the next few weeks. So if you want to find out more about which ones those might be, which ones are still available, colors, trims, all of those, feel free to reach out anytime. My number is 902-298-4140, or swing by the showroom at 3625 Kempt Road in Halifax and ask for Gabe. I'd be happy to walk you through all the different options that are coming in. Hopefully they don't all sell out too quick. And Easter egg bonus round of features I've discovered in the time between me wrapping filming and the time I parked. When you turn off the car, the driver's seat moves back from the steering wheel. When you get in, it moves forward just to make getting in and out that much easier. When I pulled up to the curb, it beeped to let me know the curb was close. It flashed a blind spot warning when a car came in, didn't just light up, it actually flashed to get my attention. What else was there? The parking brake automatically engaged because I parked slightly on a hill. So to keep it from rolling forward, putting some stress on the gear, it just automatically engages the parking brake.